hiyo maua utapata.
Hiyo maua. Taona kwanza. Hiyo maua ingesimama hapa. Angesimama hapa mtu wa maua.
Gari inakuja hivi ama inakuja hivi?
Itakuja hivi.
Then kama inakuja hivi,
itakuja hivi.
Hivi.
Itakuja hivi. Hebu left ni wapi? Itakuja hivi. Left ni
this way.
Okay.
So, yako bado iko.
Tell them shortly.
I'm fine.
Who's getting a good shot of Victoria? This is like a moment.
Yes, it is our moment.
Kubalishwa finally. Tuende pale nyinyi huko. Mtapiga mingi kwa hii sawa.
Hatupigangi kuja hiyo stationary. Unasukuma. I expect mama atakuja kiata. Tukifungilia hapa mbele yako ita. Security watakuja watapita na wewe. Ya fumu. Ashimu zimu.
In fact, you're supposed to be 5 meters,
Yes.
5 steps away.
Sasa shida inakuwa unaona
tripod
paparazzi
hapo.
wamekuja.
Na tripod ameweka hapo.
Huwezi kuwa na order. Irukan.
You're going to fix that. Juma. Hii ni ya wao, si ya Hassan. But we are covering to the main house. Yes, peke yangu.
Unafanyia official.
Tutaongojea hapa. Tutaongojea hapa.
For here, actually, I'm streaming live to the house.
I'm so happy to be here in Kenya. My name is Alusizi Mwale. I come from the Republic of Zambia. I work with the Department of National Parks and Wildlife, and I operate as a wildlife warden. I form part of a conservation lady, boots on the ground. I'm part of the law enforcement team, and my journey did start with the conservation sector 16 years ago. I did go through paramilitary training so that I should be on par with the other guys who were doing the job. Our basic job is to go against the poachers. This job, mostly it's male dominated, and 10% I think of the staff are women. And we're out there doing that because, as you know, poaching is something which is serious in Southern Africa, both domestic and also transnational. I'm happy to be here because over the years I have risen through the ranks, and now I would like to think that I can provide leadership to other young rangers who would want to join into the sector. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Ivariri Akret Stenje from Rwanda. I do conservation of mountain goats.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Ethel Shamsila from Sierra Leone. I am a conservation educator.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Reson Kantai Duff, and I am a Kenyan working in Kenya on lion conservation, which is also community conservation.
Where? Where in Kenya?
In northern Kenya, in Samburu.
My name is Anying Pamela from Uganda, and I'm a community conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Gloria Mwenge. I'm from the Big Congo, the Republic Democratic Congo, where we conserve lowland gorillas.
Your Excellency, my name is Emily Montali. I am a chimpanzee conservationist.
Where?
I'm from Uganda.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Rita. I'm from Madagascar, and I'm an ecologist, and I'm a lemur conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Rose Wamala from Western Kenya, and I'm a community conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Rose Bella Bunji. I'm from Masai Mara, and I'm a community conservationist.
Your Excellency, my name is Sandra Usidefu from Ghana. I'm an amphibian conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Maureen Kenyanjui. I work in Voice Agala. I'm a community conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Christine Nyangweso. I work with KWS based in Voi, Wanyani Training School. I'm a wildlife biodiversity conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I'm Ansara Wangoi. I work in Northern Kenya, Samburu. I'm a Grevy's zebra conservationist.
Your Excellency, my name is Gladys Ngumbi from Tanzania. I'm a wildlife ecologist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Joyce Mungure. I'm from Tanzania. I'm a conservation officer.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Mo Angel Sumbiza. I'm from Zimbabwe, and I'm a land conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I'm Ophelia Princess Mensah from Ghana. I'm a forester.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Wabosha Kamata. I'm from Taita Taveta Wildlife Conservancies Association. I'm a community conservancy and a shuja.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Mia Acha. I am a forester and I'm from Cameroon.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I am Joyce Mataru. I'm from Kenya and I'm a community conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I'm Sylvia Wasige, a Kenyan environmental planner.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Gladys Fayomi. I'm from Nigeria and I'm an environmental specialist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I am Dominique Gonçalves from Mozambique, and I'm an elephant conservationist.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Elizabeth Muyeria. I am Kenyan. I am a gender and development practitioner.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Wango Mutua from Kenya. I'm a rural development practitioner.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Shabiso Mwini Timpara. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm a forester. I plant trees.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Kandiwe Mwetwa and I'm a carnivore conservationist from Zambia.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I'm Tracy from South Africa and I'm an environmental manager.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I am Mary Wykestra. I am a resident of Kenya, but I'm American, and I am a mentor and director of a cheetah conservation project.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Mercy Masila Achola, and I had the privilege of training these beautiful, wonderful ladies for 3 days, and I just love it. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah. Thank you.
Good. So if that is everybody, Your Excellency, you can see the representation that we have here. They're very diverse indeed.
And it would be good to hear about some of the highlights.
We have a few ladies who are ready to give the highlights of their training. So we welcome you. Okay, please go.
Your Excellency, again, good morning. My name is Ivaridi from Rwanda, Murahoneza. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here in your presence. as a woman from Rwanda doing conservation of mountain gorillas. Your Excellency, I'm here representing women conservationists who have been attending African Women Conservation Leaders training. Your Excellency, please allow me to mention a few of our commitments to show how we were really inspired by this training. Your Excellency, we are no longer alone. You will ask me why. Your Excellency, because of the training, I will start by myself. I feel empowered. I'm no longer alone. Because I have you, I have all these exceptional conservationist women who have been setting role models. Your Excellency, we are all connected now. We're not going to do it alone. Your Excellency, we feel inspired. Your Excellency, we promise we are going to go back in our respective organizations and set up all those role models you have been learning. Your Excellency, we are like birds in a nest now, but going back in our respective organizations are going to make a change. Your Excellency, we promise we will stay in touch. Thank you so much for joining us today. We stay in touch. Thank you so much for being with us.
Your Excellency, as young women in conservation in West Africa, we are totally aware of the imbalance that do exist, when we want to combat all the challenges in the environment. That's one change that could serve communities and preserve our valuable resources for the next generation. We have values. We value knowledge. We value opportunities. And we want recognition. Women are natural leaders. And as such, when empowered, we can do a lot better. We care, we feel, and we accommodate because we want to make a change. I hail from West Africa, where conservation is like for men. And opportunities to absorb as a woman is limited. The actions we're about to take, all what we've learned now, will go a long way as to what we'll do when we get back home. I speak for myself and my colleagues, women from West Africa, passionately driven in our conservation endeavors to be granted equal opportunities as men. We're truly humbled and inspired by the just concluded 3-day workshop, the training we had. And we promise that when we get back, we're definitely going to be ambassadors. We're hopeful that many doors of opportunities will be open for other young women to join the movement and make this one important change. Let me end by reiterating one famous quote from a mother of the environment, Wangari Maathai. She said, quote and unquote, "Today we are faced with a challenge that calls for a shift in our thinking so that humanity stops threatening its life support system. We are called to assist Earth to heal her wounds, and in the process, we heal our own. Indeed, to embrace the whole of creation in all its diversity, beauty and wonder, recognition and sustainable development, democracy and peace are indivisible. It is an idea whose time has come." I thank you.
I'm sure every one of these women here would love to say something. I'm sure they would all love to say something. But as you can hear, we have another very eager audience on the other side. So, with your permission, Your Excellency, we will plant the tree and then proceed to meet the others. these women have prepared a dance. When we said, oh, we need some entertainment, they said we were going to give a dance as a gift to Her Excellency. So they're going to dance in the auditorium.
Okay.
Some of them say they haven't danced for 30 years, for years. I said, what kind of Africans are you? But, so with your permission, we are going to proceed. I don't know if you want to say something, Shivani. Would you like to say something?
Your Excellency, this is an incredible group we have had the privilege of spending 3 days with. They're inspirational women, and they give us so much hope for the future. You will hear more about the whole training from one of them in the plenary, but I think this is a great opportunity now to go plant the tree. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I'm so inspired. I mean, the more women we have out there, the more that will get done. I truly believe that. Yeah. And like in Samburu, I've seen a lot of women rangers. Yeah. That's the beginning, but we need to do more. We need to do more because as women, things get done.
Yes.
This is place called Omoicadensis, Kuyu Modega. It is medicine, mainly teeth. People grind it and they brush with it. It grows big, it's a huge tree, forest tree, and is very good in terms of take care of your teeth. Yeah. That's enough, Excellency. You can water it now and talk to the tree to grow. We talk to trees to grow well. Yeah.
Your Excellency, the reason we decided to plant a tree is because it is the symbol of the women in environment. And we think that a tree grows and we see as it branches out. Yes. And so we want these women to go out and branch out and bring more women into the space. So this tree is very symbolic for us because it is our symbol. We want roots, we want to grow. We want the women to feel the space. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Clear the other side.
Please.
It's a work. Sorry. Changamka. Nakatazwa ile laini so. Tazama. Uko salama? Salama.
Ladies and gentlemen, Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya. We remain standing as we take our positions. I will kindly request that we remain standing as the Kenya national anthem shall play. May I request that we remain standing as I invite the opening prayers from Rachel Obleko, who is the marketing manager at the Brackenhurst.
First Lady, all observed protocol, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let us pray. Lord God of heaven, we thank you for this day and for the gift of life. Thank you for this noble gathering. We appreciate the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding you have given this team to conserve the nature and its birds and animals. We invite your presence in this place as we continue with the deliberation and consultations. It's in your guidance and leadership we depend on, that our effort and hard work may not be in vain. O Lord, may you unite us in oneness so that we may all work towards the same goal of conservation. We thank and honor you for a good start and a successful ending of this conference. In God Almighty, we pray, believing and trusting. Amen.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, kindly be seated. Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Margaret Kenyatta, the Chief Administrative Secretary of Tourism and Wildlife, IG retired Joseph Boynet, the Principal Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, Professor Fred Sigor, the Co-Chair, Pathways Africa 2020, Dr. Leila Hazza, the Chairperson for Women for Environment Leadership Council, Dr. Winnie Kiiru, the Co-Founder of Pride Lion Conservation Alliance, Dr. Shivani Bala, representative from Colorado State University, Professor Jennifer Solomon, the Chief Executive Officer of Brackenhurst, Mr. John McLavy, distinguished invited guests, participants, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, welcome to Brackenhurst, the place to be. Because of the fresh air and wonderful place, wonderful environment. Your Excellency, before we begin our program this morning, allow me to present to you a brief entertainment, Your Excellency. Today, Your Excellency, we have a group of dancers which has been put together in the last 2 hours. Your Excellency, these are participants of this conference, and when we had a meeting with them and we say, no, it cannot go dry. We need to entertain now the mother of the nation. They sat together and they chose that we are not going to dance anything from Africa. They said, okay. When they did like this, Your Excellency, their hands landed into India. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together as I invite Sherin Bala Lucas with her team on stage as they come to give us a Bumro dance from India. Carry on. It is called Bumro Dance, Your Excellency. Thank you, our choreographer who has arranged this dance. Your Excellency, this time around, will not have any problem looking for a team during Madaraka Day. We have seen talents here. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful dance to open this session, Your Excellency. It will be followed by the Chief Executive Officer of Brackenhurst, Mr. John McLevy, who will come on stage to make the welcoming remarks. A round of applause to him.
Good morning. When they told me I was going to speak at this, we were in a long meeting preparing, and I really was thinking I'm going to get away with just smiling and being in the background. But now they put me up here. But when these ladies were dancing, I thought I'd rather be dancing than speaking here. I do some speaking. I speak sometimes in front of large crowds, but this time is different. On behalf of Brackenhurst and all that it is, I want to welcome you to Brackenhurst, Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya. If you read about her life and her work, you see some of her heart. And truly, I've met presidents before. I've met others. I'm truly in awe of what you do. And as a runner, and an avid runner for most of my life, I have never finished a marathon. So I'm quite in awe of you and your running as well, and I congratulate you on that success. But welcome to Brackenhurst. It is so good to have you here. It means a lot to us. I also welcome the Chief Administrative Secretary and the Principal Secretary of State in the Department of Wildlife. They are part of the Department of Tourism, the Ministry of Tourism. We work with a lot of different agencies, ministries, and authorities to run our businesses here in Kenya. I will have to say the Ministry of Tourism is one of the best as far as being professional, as far as actually working in partnership with us to promote this magical place of Kenya. So thank you. I appreciate your work that you do. And welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, who are here with the Pathways Conference. I really wanted this conference here. When we met some months ago, it was very important to me. And I think they've gotten a lot of extras in this that maybe we've given freely and made accommodations because we wanted them here. Their purpose, and the purpose of this meeting, empowering women, bringing up women into leadership and conservation, is something that resonates with me and with us here at Brackenhurst. And they've been a lot of fun to work with. So they've been flexible. We've had some things to deal with, but it's been fun. And they've kept a good sense of humor, as have we, and we have some great staff, and it's been a pleasure taking care of you, our guests, and seeing this conference happen here. Obviously, Brackenhurst is very committed to the environment. As you come in to Brackenhurst, across the dam, you can begin to see the trees and the commitment that we've made. 20 years ago, there was nothing. There were eucalyptus and wattle trees here, and we clear-cut those and made a commitment to plant indigenous trees here at Brackenhurst. 70% of our property is committed to reforestation, not with plantation trees, but with indigenous trees, something that we believe will be here from this time going forward, and it will truly be a treasure for the country of Kenya. Many trees are very rare. There are less than 10 in the world, and now we have species here. And we believe will be a source of seeds for some of the important species and be a vital resource as we see more and more reforestation take place around the continent and around the world. We've seen the monkeys, the colobus monkeys, which left this area. They're back. A lot of other wildlife. The bird species have gone from around 40 up to 180. So we've seen that this land has come back to life. And that's been one of the greatest joys of mine in the years that I've been here in Africa. It's a showcase for restoration. It's a showcase for sustainability. Probably some of you have seen all that we're doing with recycling, and we eliminated plastic bottles almost entirely. And there are a number of other things that in my short time I'm not able to share with you. But many exciting things are going on here. We have tens of thousands of visitors a year that come here, and we want to showcase what we're doing here to the continent and to the world. We want to bring more. We want them to learn more as they come and be more involved in conservation when they leave. We've just received our level 1 certification for our botanic garden, and we are moving on to level 2, and we'll be the only botanic garden and forest in East Africa that has level 2 certification. So we're looking forward. And to my knowledge, there is no other hotel, no other international school, which is also located here on the property, that is located in a botanic garden. I know of no other place. Perhaps you do. If you do, I would like to hear about it. But with those short remarks, I really just want all of you to feel welcome. It is truly a blessing for us to have you here. And we don't want anyone, no matter where they're from, no matter their place in life, we don't want anyone to leave this place, to go out that gate, who hasn't experienced some degree of transformation. Because we know what you do and where you work. To us, you're heroes. You go out into those environments, into those communities, with the people, with the wildlife, and we treasure that. And we pray for your success, because your success is the world's success. So thank you and welcome, Your Excellency. Again, thank you for being with us, and other distinguished guests, and all of you. Feel very welcome at Brackenhurst.
Thank you, John. Your Excellency, she is the chairperson of the Women for the Environmental Leadership Council. She is also the founder of Conservation Kenya and is the senior technical advisor for the Elephant Protection Initiative. She's none rather than Dr. Winnie Kiru. Dr. Winnie is going to make a presentation and thereafter invite the testimonials. Karibu.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Mrs. Margaret Kenyatta, the Chief Administrative Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, Mr. Joseph Boynet, the Principal Secretary, State Department of Wildlife, Professor Segor, our sponsors represented here today, USAID, San Diego Zoo Global, Wildlife Conservation Network, and many other organizations that you will see on this banner. We have enjoyed so much generosity. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to Pathways Africa 2020. Pathways Africa is part of the Pathways Human Dimensions of Wildlife Conference and Training. It gives me particular pleasure to welcome our First Lady, who is a great inspiration for us in our country as a practicing conservationist, because our First Lady doesn't just speak about conservation, she actually goes out and does it. And we are here with conservationist number 1. Please give our First Lady a hand. The program for this Pathways 2020 is designed to address the many issues that arise as people and wildlife struggle to share space, to coexist in a sustainable and healthy way. The theme of this year's conference, which was chosen very carefully, is Open the Door to Diverse Voices. Your Excellency, Pathways Africa 2020 is co-hosted by Pride Lion Conservation Alliance and Colorado State University with support from Women for the Environment in Africa. We call ourselves We Africa. And at this point, I'm going to ask the co-hosts to just stand up, and maybe people don't know the little bundles of ladies that have been running around getting this together. Let's give them a clap. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, these women have just worked so hard, and we are very proud of the work that they've been able to do. We have been very privileged in this conference because in our midst we have had many distinguished conservation leaders from across Africa. Yesterday morning, we had an amazing panel discussion with Musonda Mumba from UNEP, Alice Ruweza from WWF, Musimbi Kanyoro, who is the former president and CEO of the Global Fund for Women. And we had these panelists just blow us away with their journey in conservation. We have this morning listened to inspirational discussions from Honorable Tia Galgalo, who is here with us. She's the founder of the Foundation for Pastoralist Women and an avid conservationist. We had this morning Mr. Fred Swanika. Is Fred here? He may have left. But Fred is another inspirational African leader in conservation. And he told us something very profound, that if we leave 50% of Africa's population behind, that is spelled women, Your Excellency, if we leave 50% of Africa's population behind as we try to conserve our environments and face the challenges that biodiversity faces today, we are not going anywhere. We do need to bring everybody to the table, and women more so. This conference has registered a record number of participants. We have over 275 individuals from 30 countries represented. 4 continents are in this room, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, 73% of the participants are from 19 African countries. 59% of the registrants are women. To increase participation and accessibility for local and regional practitioners, and the organizers provided 70 scholarships to cover the full cost of Pathways Conference registration for African conservationists. So we wanted to give the recipients full access to the conference sessions, the materials, and the networking sessions. We felt that the reason why African people are not able to come and communicate and network in these places, and especially women, is just the cost. We are thankful to Brackenhurst because not only are they a wonderful campus, they're affordable. They're a wonderful place for conservationists to spend a week. And some people here will live healthier than they came because there's also the walking trails. Thank you very much for maintaining such a wonderful campus. So, Your Excellency, this conference provides an excellent and much-needed opportunity for conservationists to participate in meaningful discussions around leadership, diversity, community, and many other challenges that face conservationists today. So our motto is we take care of biodiversity, but we take care of ourselves as well. Because as we network, as we talk about our work, we are building communities of conservationists that can support each other, that can remind each other that our wellness is as important as that of the biodiversity that we try to conserve. We have intentionally designed this conference to include many opportunities for participants to network and attend practical training sessions and relevant sessions about the important issues in the field. Your Excellency, the focus on diversity and inclusion is what makes Pathways different from all the other conservation conferences that we attend. This year, the co-hosts, Pride Conservation Alliance, CSU, and We Africa, chose to focus on training women in conservation leadership. We didn't train them in dance, but this one was like, but they took it on, I think, in a big way. African conservation is suffering from a serious imbalance in its leadership. There is total underrepresentation of women in decision-making roles. There is less than 5% representation of women in the highest senior roles across national wildlife agencies in Africa. Kenya Wildlife Service is kind of ahead of the game with 10% representation of women at senior level. This, of course, means that the decisions are still made by 90% men. So while we've made some strides, 90% of the senior people in KWS are still men. In non-governmental sector, women remain unrepresented at senior management and CEO level. Women are poorly represented in boardrooms where crucial policy decisions on recruitment, retention, and promotion are made. This is really strange because even here, when you listen to stories from many conservationists, both male and female, you hear them relate how the women in their lives, their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunties, inspired them to appreciate nature. They speak of the stories they were told around the fire about the hyena and the elephant and the hare, the sungura mjanja. We all know those stories that were told to us by our grandmothers. They will tell you how firm these women were about planting trees, keeping the rivers and streams clean. I don't think there's an African who does not remember their grandmother saying, you must finish all the food on your plate. They hated wastage. They were natural conservationists, our mothers and grandmothers. There is absolutely no reason why women cannot take their place at the top table. Your Excellency, I can tell you from personal experience that it is very lonely near the top. There are such few female role models in the conservation space. It is extremely difficult for policies that would enable women to participate better in conservation to see the light of day in these male-dominated boardrooms. I have witnessed firsthand how difficult it is when you lack a critical number of women in the boardroom to push some of these important policies. You sit there lonely. You're told that you're too passionate, you're emotional, you're unreasonable. What do you mean that we need 50% women rangers? They will go on maternity leave and that doesn't work. We need boots on the ground 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This maternity leave is a problem, and the brothers want children, but they don't want women rangers. Your Excellency, there is clear evidence that diverse teams are more productive, more collaborative, more resilient, and more innovative. There is a real case for the importance of inclusion and diversity at the highest levels of conservation leadership. We have taken this on as a challenge to increase the participation of women. We have brought women to this conference. We identified that 30 women conservation leaders They were identified through a competitive process. 500 women, highly qualified, applied for this training from 32 different countries, but we only had 30 scholarships. Those 30 women are the ones who are dancing here today. They went through the pre-conference leadership training. Our idea was to provide them with new knowledge and useful skills and tools that they need, build a peer network to help improve their leadership skills and impact. We want to remove them from that isolation that many of us felt in our journey in conservation. Your Excellency, the Pathways 2020 Women in Conservation Leadership Training has been phenomenal. These women from 14 different African countries embraced the training with enthusiasm and determination. They have successfully completed 3 full sessions under the guidance of our experienced coach, Mercy, being one of those wonderful coaches that help the girls. As I finish, Your Excellency, watching these women grow every day as they were getting this training made me wish that somebody did this for me when I joined Kenya Wildlife Service 29 years ago. I was up to my eyebrows in elephant dung as I charged through forests with my male colleagues, counting dung piles in an effort to estimate the number of elephants that were left in our forests after the poaching crisis. I would have done conservation differently. I'm sure I wouldn't have felt as lonely and isolated. I wouldn't have quit some jobs that, if somebody had been there to tell me even this will pass, I would have stayed. Maybe I would be director of Kenya Wildlife Service. Maybe. Just maybe I would be sitting where Principal Secretary Professor Segor is seated. Just maybe. If I had somebody to hold my hand and tell me that even this will pass. We're not stopping here, Your Excellency. Later this year, Women for Environment Africa is planning to launch a 12-month leadership course for women who are at the highest and most influential levels in the environmental sector. This new initiative will tackle many of the challenges that I have mentioned above. For women to have the support and leadership development that we have all been striving to find. Your Excellency, the time is now for women. The environment is pleading for our help, and we are ready. But we need your support, Your Excellency. We need your strength and inspiration. We need the collective vision of everybody here in this room to make this a reality. As I end, I want to invite one of the participants in the training, Dr. Rezon Kantai-Duff. I want you to hear firsthand, Your Excellency, what it was like to participate in this conservation training. Rezon is an incredible conservation leader. She works for Ewaso Lions, but more than that, she's always generous and ready to help motivate other young people. Please help me welcome Rezon Kantai.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Chief Administrative Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, Principal Secretary, State Department of Wildlife, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. It strikes me that this may be the first time you have all been addressed by a conservation dancer. But make no mistake, the women who stood before you are powerful and wonderful. They are setting goals and they're making connections across the continent for conservation. We all want to do things differently, and this is what this conference and We Africa is about. We are figuring out ways to replace the competitive spirit that drives the conservation agenda so often that makes us have to step on each other to actually be heard. And we're replacing that with empathy and compassion. Because we all believe, and I truly believe, that there is room for everybody in conservation. For me, this is personal. I wake up every morning thinking about ways to involve more Kenyans and more Africans in conservation. The time for elitist models of conservation on this continent has passed. The time for inclusion is now. But what is this conservation thing? We've been meditating a lot this week because we all realize that our jobs are very stressful and we have to make a lot of decisions. And as we meditated, I've been asking a lot of my sisters what the word for religion is in their African language. And other than Kiswahili, where the word is dini, but that comes from din, which is Arabic, most people couldn't really figure out what that word was. And I think that is because God and spirituality and well-being and culture are just a part of who we are. So too is conservation. Conservation is just part of our lives and part of how we should do things every day. And perhaps this is why it is an implicit part of the Big Four agenda in Kenya. But now these values need to be explicit, and we need your help, Your Excellency. It will take the courage of matriarchs to help us change the narrative, and the foresight of patriarchs. We are not leaving you behind, men, to make what we are planning for this continent, its people, and its wildlife a success. And everyone in this room qualifies to carry a building block and to bring one person or 10 people along with them. And just like getting a group of African women to do an Indian dance, this will be a new experience. And it will be hard, maybe. But man, it's going to be fun. And I think that gives us all reason to hope. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Your Excellency, at this moment, allow me to invite the Principal Secretary for Wildlife, Professor Fred Sigol, to come and make his remarks, and thereafter invite our Chief Administrative Secretary.
Our chief guest for today's function, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta, First Lady, Republic of Kenya, Chief Administrative Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, Joseph Boynet, Dr. Leila Asali, Co-Chair Pathways Africa, Dr. Winnie Kiiru, Chairperson, Women Environmental Leadership Group Council, Dr. Shifani Bala, Bright Lion Conservation, Colorado State University, represented here by Professor Jennifer Solomon, our CEO of this institution, John McElfie, distinguished participants, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Indeed, Your Excellency, we are very happy as a State Department of Wildlife to be associated with you and also to be associated with the women leaders in Africa by virtue of them gathering here to learn new information of how to conserve our biodiversity. And Your Excellency, our department, State Department of Wildlife, is indeed mandated to protect wildlife heritage, wildlife biodiversity management and protection, and more importantly also wildlife conservation, protection, education, so that we educate our populace, our public, on the importance of wildlife. And in order to achieve these objectives of the departments, there is need to protect our national parks, there is need to protect our marine parks, there is need to protect our reserves, and also all the areas our biodiversity exists. And so when we're invited in this conference, Your Excellency, we are happy to be associated to what they are doing. They are doing a great job, and as women of the world, we've seen what women can do. Women are doers, they make things happen to the satisfaction of all of us. And so today we are happy of what you are doing, and we will work closely with you. And for this institution, there are lessons as a ministry we are getting from it. The fact that this institution has a lot of indigenous trees, the environment is serene, it is marvelous. CEO, congratulations for what you are doing. And when we go back to the ministry, we will have to discuss with our hotel industries to ensure that while we are giving out hospitality, we also take care of the environment. It becomes lovely. In addition, I also want to accept the challenge from Dr. Kiilu, Winnie, that currently in our Kenya Wildlife Service, which is the institution which has been mandated to take care of our biodiversity, 10% women. I want to promise that going forward, we will improve that figure. We will do it because we know they are the doers, and more importantly, recently, we went to Laikipia and we saw our cabinet secretary presided over a function which was training women rangers. And for the first time, they were able to train about 12. They only graduated 12 of them who graduated were women. And we've already seen what they can do. And so I want to promise Your Excellency and the audience who are here that we will take it seriously so that we become part of this process. So once again, Your Excellency, we are happy to be here, and we look forward to your continued involvement in the sector the way you've done. You become our leader. We look forward to catching up and ensuring that we move together in this direction so that our biodiversity is improved in the country. So ladies and gentlemen, it is now my humble duty to ask our Chief Administrative Secretary, Joseph Boynet, to step forward to make his remarks, and thereafter invite Her Excellency, the First Lady. Boynet.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Margaret Kenyatta, who is the chief guest for today's function, PS Professor Gore, the co-chair of Pathways Africa, Dr. Leila Haza, and all the distinguished personalities whom you work together to put together this excellent conference. Our host, John McKelvey. This is indeed a wonderful place. I'll make a little confession a little later. Conference participants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. Your Excellency, we are truly delighted to have you with us today. Not only as a guest of these great women, but as a guest of the ministry as well. Because I stand here on behalf of the Honorable Najib Balala, who could not be here today because of other pressing engagements, and asked me to stand in for him. And on behalf of the ministry, we are truly delighted. Thank you very much for finding time to officiate at this great function. Secondly, I wish to, with your permission, Your Excellency, I wish to make a confession in the sense that some times ago in the early 1990s, I used to work in the then Kiambu district. And I had great friends who were members of the club next door, and I knew this institution existed. My apologies, I never stepped here. I didn't know what an incredible place it is. And I want to make a commitment, if you accept, that I might be your frequent visitor over the weekends, because this indeed is a great place. Your Excellency, allow me to make a couple of remarks before I invite you to address this audience. And in the first instance, to thank those who organized this year's edition of Pathways Africa, in which the theme, the incredible theme of opening the door for diverse voices. And I want to believe that you will agree with me that the voices that we saw up on the stage during the dance were indeed diverse and represented the totality of Africa. And I must say I enjoyed myself. And I couldn't believe that the dance was put up in just 20 minutes, you said? You did very well, ladies. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Having said that, I want to reiterate the commitment of the ministry, as said by the PS, that we are committed to promoting or creating rather awareness of the importance of conservation, and especially in the direction of gender mainstreaming. And as a matter of fact, one of the very senior personalities in the ministry, actually another permanent secretary in the ministry, is none other than P.S. Safina, a lady. So we have senior ladies in decision-making in the ministry. Who knows what may happen in the future, Daktari? God knows. I'm saying for you. So we are committed to gender mainstreaming in the ministry because as Dr. Cato put very, very well, that it is only when we create that balance will we succeed. Will we succeed in raising our voices about the critical importance of conservation, and especially in our country, in the sense that our wildlife is the most important attraction that brings tourists to visit our country. And that's why we are indeed very, very committed to conservation of our wildlife and other forms of biodiversity. Lastly, I want to believe that the ladies who have come from the very many friendly countries in Africa and beyond have enjoyed their stay during the few days you have been around here. And please make time when the program is over to sample what our country offers as well. Having said that, it is my great privilege and honor to invite Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, to address us. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Kindly be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I join you here today to participate in the third Pathways Africa Conference. It's an honor to be amongst this community of women conservationists and dancers. I extend my warm welcome to our participants, some of whom are visiting our country for the first time. I congratulate you for being selected from hundreds of applicants from across Africa to participate in this inaugural training. The importance of environment and wildlife conservation is an issue that has taken center stage in global conversations. Countries have committed the next decade as critical years to fight against global challenges of climate change. We must accelerate action to achieve Sustainable Development Goal targets by the year 2030. Kenya is endowed with some of the world's most iconic species of wildlife, and we have a rich diversity of plants and vegetation. The government is committed to sustainable management of these resources for future generations to enjoy. The objective of this conference resonates with our collective efforts to mitigate the results of climate change actions and to ensure that communities are not only protected, but empowered to reap sustainable livelihoods from our rich natural heritage. How we will live in the next decade is everyone's business. It can no longer be the responsibility of government, UN bodies, or donors. It will require collective and sustained efforts from communities, from conservationists, from individuals. It will also require leadership and inclusive interventions from diverse voices, because environmental degradation affects our well-being at the most basic level, ranging from our need for clean air, clean water, food security, and shelter. I therefore applaud the objective of Pathways Africa conferences that are held across the world for considering the role of gender in transforming and influencing environmental policies and action. I thank Colorado State University and Pride Lion Conservation Alliance for bringing women to the forefront of conservation. Ladies and gentlemen, women make up 51% of the world's population, and we're responsible for everyday decisions about food, water, security, and health. Bigger participation of women in this space is critical if we're to meet the challenges of climate change. Unfortunately, as in many other sectors, the contribution of women in conservation has been overlooked. This leadership training, whose theme is Open the Door to Diverse Voices, is timely so that women are empowered with knowledge and tools to participate in decision-making on issues that affect their livelihoods, their health, their families. The experience here will expand opportunities for collaboration and innovation. It will promote a collective vision that will positively contribute to greater conservation impact across Africa. I have listened to women share their desire to actively participate in the development of their communities, to live peacefully, and to fend for their families. I have witnessed this participation firsthand during past visits where I have seen successful models of chamas, or women groups, including table banking initiatives. These are bold efforts to become financially independent by pulling together in the way that women do. I have also been inspired by my role model, Wangari Maathai, a legend, a great icon, and a great source of pride for our country, for her great legacy in environmental conservation. We will forever be indebted to her for her relentless sacrifice. Because of what she taught us, we are reminded that lots of work still needs to be done to make the planet safe for our children. As I planted a tree this morning commemorating this Women for Environment initiative, I was reminded of Wangari's passion for trees and the symbolic significance trees represent through their resilience, even in difficult weather conditions. This is what we hope to start with this program. As you embark on your new roles as conservation leaders, I'm confident that you will apply the skills, knowledge, and networks that you have built over the 3 days of intensive training. I wish you success in advocating for long-lasting environmental and conservation impact in Africa. I thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. Your Excellency, thank you for that wonderful speech. And now, without much ado, allow me to invite a vote of thanks from the co-founder, Pride Lion Conservation Alliance, Dr. Shivani Bella.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Mrs. Margaret Kenyatta, the Chief Administrative Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, our Principal Secretary from the State Department of Wildlife, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your gracious presence today and giving us all conservationists from Africa and around the world so much hope and inspiration. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife for not only your support of this conference, but for your leadership and your visionary thinking in my country and also around the world. Thank you so much to all the organizers, the Pride Lion Conservation Alliance, Colorado State University, Women for the Environment in Africa, for coming together and collaborating. As you've heard, the theme of this conference was opening the door to diverse voices. We have worked so hard to ensure that this is embedded throughout the conference. Your Excellency, if you look around, you will see bracelets that everyone is wearing. These have come from Niassa in Mozambique, made by a conservation craft group. These bracelets have values, diversity, inclusion, joy, compassion, trust, values that are so important in conservation and allow us to do conservation differently. We're so grateful, Your Excellency, for your inspirational presence today and would like to present you with a token of our appreciation.
Just give it the greetings.
Another round of applause. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. May I request, thank you, Your Excellency, and with that, we have come to the end of the program. It was an official opening of the Pathways Africa Conference 2020, and if you all agree with me, kindly be upstanding for the closing national anthem. Thank you. We now proceed. We remain standing as Her Excellency with our entourage makes their way out, and then the rest will join at the photo session area as earlier agreed. Welcome. Mko karibu sana. Imagine group photo wanakuja wote. Unaonaje?
Songa nyuma. Songa nyuma. Nyuma kidogo. Rudi nyuma basi kidogo. Rudi nyuma kidogo. Patu mbele.
To the cameras. We are coming for the second photo. Thank you. Just remain seated as we go to the second team. The organizers are yes. The organizers just stand. I want to assume the organizers, we all here. It will be followed by the top managing staff back in house.
Can see your hand. Your hand. All right, there, fine.
Sure, sure.
Because mine I'm doing live stream.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. We will represent them. We'll do another one later on. To the cameras. Smiling faces. Aha. The management team, top management team of Buckenham. John, where's John? John.
Can you spread out nicely and the balance? Eye to the cameras. Just a minute, somebody's coming. Njoo mama katikati hapo kwenda pale. There we go. Can I make some pictures? To the cameras. With smiling faces, you can choose any camera to smile. Thank you. Can we have... Now to the camera. Thank you. Can I have the participants? A group photo. Ladies first, ladies. Women. Are we all there? Okay, ladies. Come on. Okay, ladies, somebody's still running. There we go. Okay. You can say women in Thank you. Can I have other participants? For the last photo. For the last photo, can we hurry up? Thank you. We can move to our left. We have more space. We can move to our left. Thank you. We are good to go. There's more space on this side. There's more space on this side. Come on this side. Walk on this side. Thank you. Somebody's missing on the last one. I'll count at 1, 2, 3, 4. The forest team. Can you spread out nicely?
So first the roots take hold and find their energy here. Drop the seed down to the earth and let her steal. Hide it in the dark now and give this tree its first strength. It'll sprout to reach the sunlight and push us farther from the earth. So first the roots take hold and find their energy here. Drop the seed down to the earth and let her steal. Hide it in the dark now and give this tree its first strength. It'll sprout to reach the sunlight and push us farther from the
Lazima tupande miti. Did you hear that woman? We must know we must plant trees. I got a feeling it's gonna start a revolution. Yes, this woman and a powerful solution. Just trees, yeah, trees, but you can't hear me. They're photosynthesizing all the oxygen we breathe. They give us power, yeah, how we can cook without them. Even now there's mamas going fodder, fetch and bring them in. All those fields, they won't yield any fruit, cause the trees are gone and all the water's gone too. One final thing, perhaps the most important of all these trees are sacred. We're saving, don't let them all fall. We must plant.
trees. We must plant trees. We must plant trees. We must plant trees. We must plant
Thank you. Your Excellency, now with the choir. Can you come on this side as Excellency moves to the choir? This was a nice singing. We must plant trees. Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you.
So this is yes. Pande ile, sio kwa YouTube, kwa zile halls.
I can't be run over just now.
Well done, well done, well done.
Thank you very much. A bit woman heavy, but you know, we need to combat you guys. Oneni tafadhali. Tupo.
Jun.
Voy a preguntar si han encontrado.
Y si no, diles que lo pongan en el